Welcome to Amazing Animals from Around the World.
Where am I? Where are you taking me? Why do I have to wear this thing on my eyes?
You'll see, Henry, you'll see.
That'd be nice for a change.
Okay, Henry, you can take your blindfold off on 1, 2, 3. Surprise!
Gosh! A surprise party? For me?
And I invited all the animals we've ever met on our amazing animal adventures.
Oh, great! So where are the snacks, huh?
Wait a second. Aren't you going to say hello to the guests first?
Hello, guests. I'm starving!
Henry, these animals have come from all over the world in your honor.
Oh, all right. Please, guests. After you, and you, and you, and you.
That's the spirit.
Spirit? Don't mind if I do. Fondue, that is. I hope you made lots. It's like a jungle in here.
A jungle, a desert, and everything in between. There are animals here from every habitat on Earth.
I think we'll need more forks.
No kidding. It looks like a lot of animals all around the world are fond of you.
Enough with the cheesy jokes already.
It's true. Animals from high and low are making their way to be at this party, Henry. We've got snakes. Some of your old school friends, too. Even Crab Tuesday invited some pals.
I thought I smelled something fishy.
I've been in a flap over this for weeks. The invitations went out by Vulture Post. We went from coast to coast to catch up with friends we've made over the years. Some are a little heavier. Some have had youngsters. But those guests have just stampeded in from all over. Even the ends of the earth.
Just for little old Henry? Excuse me, but that's just beautiful.
Aww. Henry, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Don't you think it's time you mingled a little?
All right, all right. Hi there. What's your name?
That's a python, Henry.
How nice. Remind me to give you a big hug later. I said I'd mingle, not get mangled. Howdy, howdy there, lemur. Haven't we met before?
Don't you remember our trip to the rainforest, Henry?
Yes. The natural home of chocolate. That was a trip to remember. Hey, where'd the jungle go? Where am I?
That was your first trip to the rainforest, Henry, so it was pretty amazing to find that ancient Mayan temple.
I thought I was in Raiders of the Lost Candy Bar.
But who would have guessed the Mayans had set a trap?
Wow! Check out those floor tiles. Snakes. I hate snakes. It was scary, but I found my treasure.
Some treasure.
There! It's a chocolate plant. My favorite.
Yes, Henry, that was before you realized there's a lot more to the rainforest than just chocolate.
Like rain. They don't call it a rainforest for nothing.
An amazing array of plants and animals thrive in these conditions. It usually only rains once a day, but when it does, it pours. In South America's Amazon jungle, enough water pours into the river every day to run a bath for every person on Earth.
So who let the snuzzle monster into our bath?
That's a tapir, Henry, a relative of the horse and the rhino. The rainforest is full of some pretty unusual animals, such as the tamandua, an anteater which lives in the trees.
It can get pretty crowded up there on those Amazon highways, too. You're just moseying along looking for some ants when, bam, along comes a tree porcupine going the wrong way down a one-way branch. Talk about traffic jams. Lucky there are a lot of little side roads. You don't want to mess with those tree porcupines. They can get pretty prickly.
You have to appreciate the animals of the rainforest, Henry. They play a large role in the continuing growth of the forest, trees, and plant life.
Large role? With cinnamon? No wonder they're fighting.
Not that kind of role. Jungle animals munching away on the fruits of the forest help to spread the seeds for a new generation of rainforest plants.
And these plants produce the oxygen we breathe. Which is why coming here is such a breath of fresh air.
How right you are. Henry!
Man, am I thirsty! Excuse me, may I come in? Oh. Hey, she drank it all, and I'm parched.
You think you're parched? Imagine living in the desert like she does.
I don't have to imagine. I've seen it all before. Remember?
I remember you had some trouble getting around when you first arrived.
Sheesh, I've heard of quicksand, but slow shifting sand? How does anybody get around on this stuff?
Desert animals have adapted to life on the sand, Henry. They're more suited to it than you are.
Yeah? Well, if this works, it'll suit me just fine.
It's Aladdin's lamp.
Alakazam! Yo, Ratman! Take me to the nearest swimming pool.
Careful, Henry, careful!
Oof.
Still glad you came, Henry?
Hey, I'm a diamond in the rough.
Oh, brother.
Somebody ought to put a lawn here. A few trees. Know what I mean? Save the sand for the sandbox.
I don't think there's a sandbox big enough, Henry. This is an African desert, and the animals that live in it have to contend with some of the hottest, driest conditions on Earth. The fog-stand beetle stands on her head, hoping a drop or two of morning dew will trickle into her mouth.
What a way to get a drink.
Beats dancing on hot sand.
What would you do? That sand burns.
If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the desert. Here's a burn-proof way of crossing hot sands. Can you guess the snake?
Is it Mr. Wiggly?
Try the sidewinder.
Oh. And what big feet you have, dearie. Who could you be?
They call them the ships of the desert, Henry.
I think they look like camels.
They are camels. With such broad feet, they won't sink in the sand. Their adaptations for survival in the desert are astounding. They can live for weeks without water. And their humps store precious food energy that can be tapped into when they need it most.
It's like I always say, You've got to put something away for a rainy, sunny day. There's me, looking handsome. And there's you, Tuesday, looking crabby.
And do you have any pictures of me in there, too?
I know I took one, but I think I got my thumb in it. But here's one you'll really like. Crab Tuesday took it with his underwater camera. Right, Tuesday?
That was the day you went to sea. Boy, were you nervous.
What? Not with my trusty shark boxer, or my octopus ink jet spray, and of course, the world's biggest water cannon. Now, which one of these buttons brings it back in?
Not that one.
Ah!
How do you drive this thing, Henry?
I don't have a clue. We're sinking fast.
Do something.
Here. Okay. Look at this. It's working. But would somebody get those fish off the road? Shoo! Shoo!
Oh, Henry, you sure don't know about sea life. Dolphins aren't fish. They're warm-blooded. Mammals, like dogs and cats.
Except without all the fleas.
These are fish. Some look for safety in numbers. Others explore the coral reef alone. The ocean floor is where you find shrimp. And the octopus glides gracefully amongst the rocks. But perhaps the most amazing sea animal of all is another mammal, a much bigger one.
Don't tell me! The sea hamster!
No, Henry, it's the whale.
I knew that. Actually, I know a lot about whales.
Oh, yeah? Did you know that whales are air breathers and have lungs like yours and mine?
No.
Did you know that some can hold their breath for 2 hours?
No.
Then you probably didn't know that whales are all descended from land-dwelling animals.
You're right. I didn't.
So what is it that you do know about whales, Henry?
Their name rhymes with tail?
Good grief. You're gonna have to do better than that. Henry, it's time for your report on the party.
What? Now?
Yes, now.
Out of my way! Journal lizard coming through! Tonight, Meerkat Dads are pushovers. And Dr. Freeze strikes Birdland. But now, our top story. Coming to you live from the Amazing Animal Reunion Party. Elephants, pack your trunks. And tortoises, pack your backs. You're all invited to party down with the world's favorite lounge lizard. Ow! This party is more fun than a barrel of monkeys. That's because we've got 2 barrels of monkeys. Plus, pin the tail on the donkey, spin the hamster, and musical bears. The guests are pouring in from all over. Turkeys are coming from Turkey, ants from France, and snails from Wales, proving that fun-loving animals will travel any distance for a party this wild. So, come on down! Make sure you bring a present. More later. But first, here now the sports.
Fantasyland 1, lizards 0.
Rats. It's not fair. Animals have been coming in from all over.
I was just kidding. You only left out one animal, the monarch butterfly.
Of course. How could I forget?
Henry, the monarch has one of the greatest traveler's tales of all. These orange and black butterflies all spend their winter resting in this Mexican forest.
It looks crowded. They should try spreading out.
Oh, they do that all right. Come the springtime, they all head north, flying to their ancestral summer homes in the northern USA and Canada, over 1,000 miles away.
Butterflies can fly that far?
Not in one generation they can't. And that's the most amazing thing of all about the monarch. When they can't travel any further, they lay eggs and leave it to their offspring to finish the trip.
Well, that offspring's not flying anywhere.
Give it time, Henry. We all know what happened to the very hungry caterpillar.
I do. She made a chrysalis, and when she came out, she was a beautiful butterfly.
But incredible as it might seem, without any parents around to guide them, these second-generation monarchs somehow know exactly how to find their summer feeding grounds.
How do they do it?
Nobody knows. It might take 6 or 7 generations to complete the whole round-trip journey. But sure enough, these monarchs return to Mexico every autumn and start the cycle all over again.
Excuse me, but that's amazing.
Henry, what's wrong? You're looking a bit blue.
Surprise! That's an ice sculpture by Pablo Piguenguin. Isn't it beautiful?
And I thought you were just being chilly. I mean silly.
I haven't felt this cold since I went to the North Pole. You want to talk about chilling out? I think I set a new record on that trip. Brr! It's cold. I don't mind, though. You know my motto. Be
Prepared?
precisely. Pilot to tower. Prepare for landing.
You want to ski here?
It's the perfect spot. There are no rocks, no trees.
And no hills. This is the polar ice cap. Underneath this layer of ice, do you know what you'll find?
Switch off boosters. What?
The ocean. Henry, are you all right?
Oh, fine. For an icicle. Thanks for the lift, pal.
I thought you knew, Henry. The oceans at the North and South Poles are covered in a frozen layer.
How would I know that? They've got ice all over them.
That's the polar ice cap, a massive sheet of ice in places as thick as a 2-story house. Luckily for these Weddell seals in the Antarctic, it's got holes in it so they can reach their food supply.
If I were them, I'd be looking for some nice hot soup.
The animals of the polar regions don't mind the cold, Henry, thanks in part to their thick layer of fat called blubber.
You're not joking. Those walruses are so wobbly, you can't even see their legs.
They don't have legs, Henry. They have flippers.
Well, I'd flip out of there. She's breaking up. The ice is breaking up.
Don't worry. It's perfectly normal for some ice to melt in the summer here in the Arctic.
Even the ice you're sitting on?
The walruses don't mind. In fact, they're much better adapted for swimming in the ocean than they are for moving around on land.
And with all that blubber, they sure don't have to worry about sinking.
now, ladies and gentle lizards, it's time for Henry's amazing Golden Gecko Awards.
The winners of my all-time most amazing globe-trotting animals are... those six-legged, crunchy-coated little fellas who make up in sheer numbers what they might lack in beauty. I'm talking about insects. There are millions and millions of different insect species found all over the world, and they come in lots of different designer styles. Take this eight-eyed beastie.
That's a spider, Henry, not an insect.
Yes, but spiders eat insects. Insects fuel the food chain. And except for the frozen poles, insects have our planet pretty well covered. Sometimes they can get a little bit out of hand. This is a swarm of locusts munching its way through every plant they can get their jaws on up in the dry north of Africa. Locusts are basically grasshoppers, and each can eat its weight in plant food every day. They're tough and fast breeding, so several generations can build up quickly to form a huge colony. Swarms of 50 million have been known to devour as much food in one day as 500 people would eat in a year. People try to beat them, but they just keep coming back. And you know, the same is true with me. They thought my singing days were over, but I've been so moved by my swarms of fans from all over the world that I just had to say... let's go around the world. Let's go around the world. Get out of your seat with your tail unfurled. So come on with me. Let's go around the world.
Camels trek through the desert.
Whales splash in the sea.
There are rainforest creatures
Who look a lot like me. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go around the world. Everywhere on the planet, animals learn how to survive.
up in the mountains, down by the seashore.
We all want to stay alive.
Sunbirds dwell in the tropics.
Some monkeys swing in the trees.
Prairie dogs dig it underground, baby.
Polar bears like to deep freeze.
Yo, come on, you animal,
let's go around the world.
Animals can be creepy
Or be crawly.
And some soar high in the sky.
Some are scary. Or they're talky.
And they'll try to tell you why. But just the other day, my friend Harry was on the phone telling me this amazing story about these animals.
Henry!
Yeah?
Just sing the song.
Now if you think you're alone, nobody else around, well, take a look out the window. Or maybe down on the ground. There are animals everywhere trying to get by, like the pink flamingo in the Mediterranean fruit flies.
crocodiles in Egypt,
Llamas in Peru.
moose in Canada,
Tapeworms in Timbuktu.
barracuda in Bermuda,
Tuna in Japan.
and the bears in China,
Dicks in Sudan.
sheep in Australia,
Horses in Belize.
Angola in Andorra.
Crickets in the West Indies. So come on, you animal, let's go around the world.
Henry, you got down.
Skidoo-dee-bop-wee-bop.
Wow, yeah.
Skidoo-dee-boo-dee-boo-dee-boo-dee. Yeah.
Wow.
Ba-doo-ba-dee-bee-bop. Boom-boom. Whoa. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo-yo. Yeah.